Hi everyone. I'm gonna teach you the first chapter of Little Women. The title is Four Sisters. And if you haven't read this chapter before, it means you are not ready. So please go back, read it, and then come back later. Now, I think everyone is ready. Okay, today we'll know lots of things about the March family. And who are they? But before this, let's look at the sentence. Christmas won't be Christmas without any presents. Joe said this, my friends, crossly, sadly, because let me tell you, their father was in the war, was at the war, let me say, and they had nothing. They were so poor. Now, the four sisters, they had $1 each, and they decided to get their mom something because Christmas was coming, approaching, and they wanted to buy something for their mom. In fact, at first, they decided to buy something for themselves, but after that, they stopped thinking this and they decided to buy something for their mom. And I said that four sisters, and let's know them. Who was the first one? Okay, Joe. And let's look at the sentences. Joe was working for the old lady, and very terrible old lady, let me say. Joe was tall and thin. She wanted to be a boy to go to war, my friends, because she said that I want to protect my family while my father is at the war, she said. That's why she wanted to be a boy, in fact, because she wanted to protect her country beside her father. And she was 15 and had long, dark red hair. As you know, I talked about that they were thinking to buy something for their mom, and Joe wanted to buy the best army slippers for her mom. And the next one is coming, Meg. Meg was teaching children, just like a teacher, but the children were a bit naughty. She was 16 and very pretty. She had large eyes and soft brown hair and white hands. In fact, she was the oldest one of the siblings. About the present, she wanted to give a nice pair of gloves to her mom. The next one is Beth. Beth was 13. She was a shy girl, and she was working in a kitchen and washed cups, plates, and she kept things tidy. It was a tiring job, She loved also playing music, but her hands got too tired because of that tiring job. She seemed to live in a happy world of her own. And about the present, she wanted to buy some handkerchiefs for her mom. And the next one is Emmy. Emmy was the youngest one. Of course, she had to go to school. And let me talk about her appearance. She had blue eyes, yellow hair, which curled onto her shoulders. Could we say that she had curly hair? Okay, I said that she had to go to school, but poor Emmy, her friends laughed at her old dresses. As I said before, her father was at the war and they were poor. Of course, they couldn't buy nice dresses. That's why her friends laughed at her old dresses. But Emmy thought that she was the most important person in the family. About the present, she wanted to buy a little bottle of perfume for her mom. And I prepared some questions for you. And let's look at the first question, my friends. What did Joe, Mac, and Emmy complain about for Christmas? And why didn't Beth complain? Of course, in this part, my friends, you need to read the chapter very well, and then you will begin to answer the questions. I suppose that everyone has read it very well and everyone is ready to answer. If it is not in this way, could you please stop it and then read it and then come back, okay? Read it and then come back. Now, the first one. I hope everyone is ready. Okay. And what did they complain about for Christmas? But that didn't complain. Do you remember? Do you remember the first sentence of, how can I say, this presentation? Christmas can't be a Christmas without any presents. Won't be Christmas without any presents, Joe said crossly. It shows they were complaining, you know. So let's look at the answers. Look at here. They complain about not having any presents and being poor because she thought that they had father and mother. There's a problem with I forgot to write S here. Okay, Beth thought that they had father and mother, so there is no need to complain. I think everyone understood the first chapter. First question, sorry. And the second one, where was their father? I really, said it, how can I say, several times. Do you remember where was their father? Do you remember Army? So let's look at the answer. Okay, he was away at the war in the south. We understood that he was at the war. And the third question, what was their mother's advice about money? Let's talk about this part because I didn't give you information about this part. Their mother advised them not to spend any money on presents because she thought that their men were at the war, so there was no need to spend all of the money on presents. So let's look at the answer of the third one. Here, she advised them not to spend money on presents when the men were at a war. Okay, now fourth question. How much did the girls have and what did they plan to do? In fact, also we couldn't say it before, but you read it and because $1, they were talking about $1. And in fact, they had two plans. First of all, they wanted to, buy something for themselves. After that, they gave up and they decided to buy something for their mom. Let's look at the answer here. They had $1 each and they planned to buy themselves what they wanted. This is the first plan, After that, they changed and they planned to buy something for their mother. And next question. What did the girls do? What were their jobs? Do you remember? In the first part, I said it. And let's see the answer. And let's remember. Fifth one, here. Meg was teaching children. I said that naughty children. She was just like a teacher, I said. Joe took care of an old lady. Very, very, very awful, terrible lady. Beth worked in a kitchen. Do you remember? She washed some cups, plates. And Emmy was a student. She had to go to school, as you remember. And the next question. Let me find, first of all, sixth one. How old were the girls and what did they look like? I mentioned about their, eyes, hair. Okay, do you remember how old were the girls? So let me ask you, who was the oldest? Who was the youngest? Youngest one? That's true. So let's look at the answer together. The sixth one. Meg was 16 and very pretty with large eyes and soft brown hair and white hands. Joe was 15 and very tall and thin with dark red hair. Do you remember? Jo wasn't the, oldest one, but she wanted to protect her family because she said that while her father was away, she was the father of the family. But in fact, Meg was the oldest. Beth was 13 and a very shy girl, but she seemed happy. Emmy was the youngest one with blue eyes and yellow hair, which curled onto her shoulders. This is our answer. And let's look at the other question. Okay, what did they want to buy for their mother? Do you remember? Let's see. I remember handkerchief. I remember a bottle of perfume. Maybe army. Army what? Let's see the answer together now. Here, Meg wanted to buy a nice pair of gloves. Jo wanted to buy the best army slippers. Yes, army slippers. Slipper, do you know? A light shoe, let's say, which is worn inside the house. What about Beth? Beth wanted to buy some handkerchiefs, and Emmy, the youngest one, wanted to buy a little bottle of perfume. And let's look at the 8th question. What did their father write in his letter? In the first chapter, their father wrote a letter to them, and their mother came home and she said that, here, we have a letter from your father. And they read it. While they were reading, a tear, came from the girl's eyes. So let's look at the answer. He wrote his love, and he said he taught them every day. And in the letter, here, he said that when I come back, I will be prouder than every of my little women. He said, he talked about this. And the other question, it is the last question of the first chapter. What did it mean to be a little woman? And look at here. It means not to be rough and wild. It means to be good. The girls felt a bit selfish, a bit, wild in the first. But after the letter, they decided to be a bit more, how can I say, like a person who knows his or her responsibilities. Okay, so who said these sentences? The first one. We haven't got father and we won't have him for a long time. Do you know? Do you know who said this sentence? In the first chapter it is written. Let's look at the answer. Jo said it. And the second one. I wish we had the money father lost when we were little. In the past, in fact, they had money. They weren't poor, but their father lost that money. So, who said this sentence? Meg. We understood it was Meg. And the third, let's each get her something and not get anything for ourselves. I talked about the plans. First of all, they decided to buy something for themselves, and after that they changed their mind and they decided to buy something for their mother. And who said this? Beth. It was Beth's idea. And look, I'm selfish, but I'll try to be better. Who was selfish? Let's see. Emmy. Do you remember Emmy? Emmy was the youngest one, and she thought that I'm the best. I'm the most important person in this family. So she said that I'm selfish, but I'll try to be better. The last sentence. I've got a letter from father. Who said this? Mrs. March. Mrs. March said this sentence, my friend. So, as you see, we finish this chapter. Of course, we have some, vocabularies. We have some vocabularies, and we'll send you worksheet. Please find the meanings of the worksheet, vocabularies, and then study it. Okay, and that's enough. Thank you for listening to me. I hope everyone has understood. If you haven't understood any part, could you please stop it and watch it again, read it again. Of course, if you have questions, any questions, ask. Don't hesitate to ask us. Okay, take care of yourself.